You're listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. The show that gives pastors and church leaders the clarity they need to protect their people, property, and ministry.
Welcome back to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. I'm your host, Ron Wadley with Insurance for Texans. We help church leaders to protect their people and property with wisdom and clarity. In today's episode, I am going to respond to the top complaints that I hear from church leaders about their church's insurance. After talking with hundreds of Texas churches this year, we've noticed the same frustrations coming up again and again. Not just about price, but about how church insurance actually works in today's environment. So let's talk through the biggest complaints we hear, and more importantly, what to do about them. The first frustration is the obvious one. Premiums that keep climbing. Church leaders feel blindsided when rates jump with little explanation. Terry's church hadn't done anything reckless. They maintained the property. They hadn't filed claims, and yet the cost still surged. What many churches don't realize is that premiums are being driven by broader forces, storm losses across Texas, rising rebuild costs, and insurance companies pulling back from church property altogether. Even well-run churches are getting caught in that current. The second complaint is coverage that doesn't actually fit how churches operate. Churches aren't office buildings. They're gathering spaces, childcare centers, event venues, counseling environments, and community hubs all rolled into one. Many policies don't keep up with that reality. Churches discovered too late that special events weren't covered, certain ministries weren't disclosed properly, or older buildings triggered limitations no one explained. That gap between how a church operates and what the policy actually covers creates risk most leaders never intended to take on. The third frustration shows up when something goes wrong: the claims process. After a storm or an accident, churches expect clarity and help. Instead, many run into delays, paperwork, and silence. Part of the problem is not knowing what information matters or what timelines are realistic. Part of it is working with agencies that sell policies but don't stay engaged once a claim starts. Terry learned quickly that claims are where good insurance either proves its value or exposes its weakness. Another major complaint is discovering exclusions or limits after the fact. This one hurts. A church believes they're covered for hail, water damage, or liability until they're not. Roofs that shift to actual cash value. Deductibles tied to building limits instead of repair costs. Coverage caps that leave massive gaps. These surprises don't feel like fine print when you're writing a check for repairs out of ministry reserves. And finally, churches are frustrated by the lack of real support. Many Texas churches feel like they've become a number in a system. Calls go unanswered. Emails lag. Smaller churches especially feel overlooked. When insurance gets complicated, and it has, church leaders don't want a vendor. They want an advisor, someone who understands how churches actually function and will walk with them through decisions, renewals, and claims. That's what Terry ultimately realized. Church insurance problems are rarely just about one issue. They stack up. The solution isn't just switching carriers, it's switching the way insurance decisions are made. That's why we created our True Texas Church Insurance Program. If you would like an advisor instead of a call center, connect with our church insurance team at insurancefortexans.com. And if you would like to better understand church insurance, get a copy of our book, The Promise of Certainty, at thepromiseofcertainty.com. I'm Ron Wadley, and this has been Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance, Protecting Texas Churches. Until next time, remember that church insurance requires expertise.
Thanks for listening to Faith, Stewardship, and Insurance. Until next time, remember, insurance isn't just about policies. It's about safeguarding the mission God has called you to lead.